Alright, today we're going to be working on a 2019 Porsche Cayanne. We're doing an oil change. Alright. So first we're going to want to remove this clip here. Remove this cover off. We got one on the other side as well. Right there. Alright, I'm going to see if I can get past without having to unhook that screw there for the breathing. So that's what we're gonna do. I got a T25 screwdriver. Gonna take these little screws out here. We got two more back here. Now that the screws are loose, always got to be one. Pull that out. Now that we got the breathe off, kind of slide these back a little bit. Back a little bit. We'll get a little room so we can pull this out. And then we're just going to pull this on out. Gotta excuse me. Alright. Definitely want to make sure you take this clip off here. It's better to do it when it's attached to the car. You just have this clip here that pulls it out. So just make sure you do it before you remove this cover. It's easier. Alright, so there's your oil filter housing there. And we're going to remove this vacuum line here as well, because behind the vacuum line is the that's the oil filler. The oil filler here. So we have to get that out. So it's best to remove this vacuum line here. That way we can get that out of there. And it's down here from there. Alright, so in order to get this oil filter housing off here, we're going to use a 32 inch or 32 millimeter. You call this Old Faithful right here. Old Faithful has been with me for years. Well, so the best way I'm going to say to do this is if you have an extension. They don't have like that. I'm trying to do everything with one hand, so bear with me, y'all. Just trying to do this one hand. Okay. Loosen that. Loosen it just a tad. So some people might find it useful if you just remove this, but I'm gonna try to do it without removing this, so to see how we can get. But you know, drop some comments in the chat, kind of let me know what you figured out, if it's easier to do it without or with. Alright, so we gotta remove that vacuum hose, so we're gonna squeeze, trying to get a good angle here, and pull. So squeeze and pull is easy, real easy. And that's the oil filler we trying to get to right here. Alright, so I'm just gonna excuse the camera again, but like I said, I'm only trying to do one hand, so I'm just gonna use a pair of pliers. Use a pair of pliers to grip on the oil fill to the housing. And just pull it out like that. So since I done got the oil dipstick open, I'm gonna use the extractor. You can get this at Harbor Freight. I'm just gonna stick this down in here. Y'all wanna make sure it's clean. Make sure there's no dirt or anything on there. And stick it down in the hole here. And you wanna stick it down till it can't go no more. I feel like I'm at the bottom. That. And evaporate, so we'll make sure it's up, which is up. And with this one, I had to pump this one. And you can see the oil coming in. Oil filter has been removed. Just pull it right out. Just pull right out. Alright, so we're going to make sure that I always replace this O-ring with the new one. So I'm going to pull this off. Got an old one. That's a new one. And then I'm going to take some oil and lubricate that. Also make sure you never have all the dirt, cleaned it off. So make sure we clean that off. So I'm going to grab a microfiber towel and clean that off. And then we're going to put some oil around the oil ring here. And we're going to be ready to install. Alright. Now we're going to put going to set it back in, back there. Take it up under. Sit this down. Let's see. Because I'm going to go under this housing. Kind of hard to see, but it just fits right back down on there. Like that. Twist it down. Get it started with your hand before putting any wrenches on to make sure it's not crossed or anything like that. And tighten as you can go. Alright, so that's there. we're just gonna tighten it down. Let's see it in there. Alright, so that's tight there. Alright, so we're gonna pull out the extractor tool out of the oil pan. Alright. Alright. So now gonna put your oil drain or your oil filler cap back in where it belongs. I'm trying to get a better angle for y'all, man. Alright, so you can see a little bit better here. Alright, so let's stick it back down in that hole here. Yep, like that. And then we're gonna put this vacuum hose back on. Like that. Make sure it snaps in. Everybody heard it snap. Yeah. We can put it back together. Alright, so we're gonna do everything in reverse. Set this in like this. And you also see tab there for sit that down in there. And also at the back. You can see, I can bring it up a little bit. You have like little notches right there. We want to make sure that sits back in there, make it easy fit. So just make sure, push down, make sure all the tabs are in. The two tabs in the front here, make sure you see it properly. Everything else should be good. And then we're just gonna screw put the air filter back in. Alright, put the air filter back in. And just sit like that. There we go. I know it's a little shaky because I'm doing everything with just my two hands. So just bear with me. If you see in this video where you didn't catch what I was doing, just write in a comment and I'll make sure I respond to you so you can know what I did. If you have any questions. But other than that, it's really pretty simple. It's not as hard as you would think coming from a Porsche, right? You want to make sure you put your air vents back up like it's supposed to. Just slide those back on. Nice, simple. Just slide on like that. Make sure everything's connected back how it was. Alright. And make sure you put your oil, put the neck back in. Just push that back down. Alright, so you got your notch there, two in the middle, one outside there. So just make sure everything sits in how it needs to sit. And let's go. There we go. See, a little dusty. Need to clean it off. Live in a dusty area out here. Other than that, we're gonna put some fresh oil in there, and after that, we're gonna make sure we get a detail. Alright, so you also notice I'm using 0W20. I bought the box instead of jug. This coming in 12 quart. So if you're not really comfortable of judging yourself of how much you pouring in, I suggest you get the 5-gallon jug and just buy 2 of those. But since I have multiple cars that use 0W20, I have a little bit left over just in case. But that. And it also can be a little cheaper because with just one of this, I think it was like maybe 60 bucks. Can't remember. But all my wine drinkers out there, just like you open up a box of wine. So I just had to